Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a new team builder for you, starring our Pawmot Kotatsu, or Kota. Let's get right into it. So, Pawmot, why Pawmot? I don't know, I'm not gonna lie. Like, out of all the Pikachu clones, like I love Plasto and Minun, Morpeko, Emolga, Pawmot really has a special place for me. I don't know what it is. It's just really cool. I just really like it. So that's why it's the star of the show this week. So, I'm getting tangled here. Pawmot, we're running a choice banded Pawmot with Volt Absorb for electric immunity, running close combat, double shock, ice punch for both beam S coverage, and seed bomb for pesky things like Gastrodon and Wallace, and other ground types like perhaps the Great Tusk, for example. Pawmot has 105 speed and 115 attack, so this thing hits really hard. But the main tech I want to try run this set is Double Shock Tera Electric Pawmot. Now, Double Shock is a new move. It works like Burn Up. If you don't know what Burn Up is, it essentially is a 120 power base move that essentially uses the user's typing, so electric in this case with Pawmot, and uses it as a move, but it can only be used once until you switch out, because the user loses its typing. So if I use Double Shock normally, I would lose the electric typing and just essentially be a fighting type. But because I'm choice and I'm locked into it, I have to pick my spots. But if I'm Tera Electric, not only am I getting a stab boost and a Tera boost, but I can consecutively use it without worrying of switching out, because I'm always electric type. So that is what we're running here. And choice band Double Shock, it's essentially going to run like if you were to run Infernape with Tera Fire Flare Blitz. It's going to hit really hard, really hard, really fast, and there's no drawback in recoil and defensive drops either. Close combat is very spammable as well, but we have defense drops. I mean, Pawmot is not tanky anyway, but still the defense drops are huge, especially because this thing isn't bulky. Ice Punch is a very neutral ice option, gives us ground coverage, as well as Seed Bomb here to give us ground options, but Double Shock is the move we want to be spamming and clicking. So if we can get rid of ground types or possible Tera ground Pokemon, we're gonna run the Tera Electric Double Shock, and if we have to switch, we have Seed Bomb and Ice Punch, but I think Seed Bomb preferably because it is a little stronger. Our defensive wall Hardox makes a return. Hardox running the same exact spread as we ran before, running Stealth Rock, Gyro Ball, Body Press, and Iron Defense. Max Defense, of course, and Gyro Ball is there to hit very hard, setting up rocks and being just a defensive wall. We're going to try and make more use of that Iron D, of course, to fire off even stronger Body Presses. 116 across the board with its defenses is nothing to sneeze at, and of course it's not as bulky as a Torkoal, but if that's why I was debating Torkoal over Fowler here, but I do think that having the Gyro Ball, Steel Coverage, Ground Immunity, I think that works better off for us, and that's a big reason why I picked Bronzong over Torkoal. As preluded to, our next type, our quote-unquote special attacking wall, making a debut is Fowler the Moltres, running a Flamethrower, Scorching Sands, Hurricane set, so 3 moves plus Roost set. It is slightly more defensive. It's an offensive type of wall of sorts, so to speak. There's no investment in special attack, but we're going to be clicking moves and just clicking hard-hitting moves and do a lot of damage, basically. Scorching Sands can fish for burns, especially Tera Ground Scorching Sands. We can fish for a lot of burns. Hurricane, if we are against rain teams, we can turn the rain against our opponent and fire off powerful hurricanes. And Flamethrower is just a great fire stab move for Moltres. We've seen a Moltres before. I don't recall what battle, but it was quite defensive, making use of Will-O-Wisp and Roost, Scorching Sands and Flamethrower. So this is kind of a similar set, except a little more offensive. It is also what I found on Smogon as well, as I don't usually use a Moltres, so this will be a new experience for me as well. Our quote-unquote other physical attacker slash lead, as long with Nebula as you can see, is Riddler the Shiftry. Now, with the Indigo Disc, Shiftry got a buff in the form of Wind Rider. Wind Rider is the Brambleghast, the Tumbleweed Pokemon's ability, and essentially it makes it immune to wind moves, and it raises an attack by 1 if it's hit by it or if it's under Tailwind. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, if I use Tailwind, my speed goes up, right? My speed goes up. I set up so my Pokemon are faster. I get a +1 boost, and coming off a 100 base attack, that is huge for this thing. Wind attack, so that is Heat Wave, for example. Heat Wave, oh shucks, I had an example and it just left my head. Oh no, I'm losing it. But Heat Wave is a popular one for like Zapdos, for example. Or heck, Moltres, right? Heat Wave. It's a wind type of attack because it's using the opponent's breath, like wind, and it's immune to it basically. So we can take that hit, pair it with our Tailwind, we can get +2, and Shiftry can actually sweep. 100 attack on the Shiftry is nothing to sneeze at. This grass coverage, it's like Meowscarada, grass dark coverage hits just about everything, and electric can help us deal with a bunch of threats. Like we can 1v1 Zapdos with it if it's running Heat Wave with this set because of Tera Blast Electric. It can block Hurricane, that's the other move, Hurricane, right? We're immune to that weakness. So that's what Shiftry is here. It is probably our lead, but in all honesty, it is probably just going to set up Tailwind and just deal a lot of damage. So hopefully that's what Shiftry can do. I want to try show off Shiftry, and I think this is a perfect set for it. I did have Meowscarada as utility, but we also have Glimmora in the back, so I didn't think it would be quite right to have Meowscarada on this team again. And offered more attack power with Shiftry. Our special defensive wall is Venus the Milotic, making her return, running the Scald, Ice Beam, Recover, Haze set. Same thing as in BDSP when we did the Pidgeot, no, with the Rich Person set that we did. So Scald and Ice Beam, of course, Water Ice coverage, Recover to heal up plus leftovers, that would be awesome. Haze to get rid of stats. It's the same old Milotic, and it's one of the few mons that get Scald, so if we can fish for those burns, that'll be pretty dang good. If we get status, we have the Marble Scale to boost our own defense +1, making this thing nigh unkillable. And Venus is just a great mon. It's just a great special wall, and it beats using Primarina. I'm trying to use different mons here, so the fact that we already used Primarina already, and Weezing, and whatever, and you know, we have some repeating going on, I want to use a Milotic to kind of break that a little bit. So that's why we're running Venus here. And last but not least, making her return is Nebula the Glimmora, running the same spread as her Agita set, Stealth Rock, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Mortal Spin. Probably will be our lead, but I think Shiftry is the better lead, simply because we can take advantage of Mortal Spin and Glimmora's speed to be a hazard cleaner. So if we can do that and set up hazards on our opponent's side with the addition of T-Spikes and spread poisons, I think that'll be better. I know we always led Glimmora in the Gita set, and I know Glimmora is a great lead, but I do think there are some times when we battle that late game rocks prove to be a dividend, and if we can get late game hazards with poisons and limit some switch-in options near the end game when our opponent's options are limited, I think that'll be pretty good for us. And then, you know, Glimmora hits very hard at 130. We've seen how hard Glimmora hits, so I think this is fine. We've seen an AV Glimmora as well. I don't know if that was testing or a battle. I do recall seeing an AV Glimmora, and that thing ate a bunch of hits and was a offset spinner, essentially. It did quite well against our team until we knocked it out. But yeah, Nebula will be our spinner. Probably will be a lead, but I'd be surprised if we use Shiftry as a lead as well. There's the team in its entirety. Oh, why is the volume button going up and down? Interesting. There's the team in its entirety. So again, the main plan is we have a lot of bulk on our team, but we have a lot of heavy hitters as well. Hazards are key for this team to be successful. Kotatsu, we want the choice banded double shocks to all. If we want a Tera, we want to use the double shock, the choice banded double shocks, because that's going to do a lot of damage to a lot of opponents' teams. And then we can chip off with our fast tiered mons and Shiftry and Moltres. Everything else is support, spread status as much as we can, and get the hazards up. Hazards are crucial for this team, as I said. So wish us luck. Maybe we'll go undefeated. I don't know. This is a pretty risky team. It's a lot of positioning and whatnot, but it's a lot of mons that I like Lamora, Milotic, Bronzong. I like a lot of new mons I'm trying. Pawmot, Moltres, and Shiftry. So this will be a trial and error one. And wish us the best. But until then, thank you guys for watching, all the support, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.